Capcom followed up Mega Man 9 with their 10th installment in the series in 2010, finally clearing up, once and for all the confused people out there, that Mega Man X was definitely not Mega Man 10. Much like its predecessor, Mega Man 10 featured 8-bit style graphics and sounds, classic to the franchise. And even though the sprites are 8-bit pixelated characters, they were definitely some of the most creative designs and detailed characters yet. From day one, this game allowed you to play as either Mega Man or Proto Man. The character base was available as DLC. Here in these Legacy collections, he should unlock after beating the game, and there were some cheats that will supposedly unlock him early, but we all know that I was obsessed with Proto Man, so I had to play through this game as him. Before I started my run through the game though, I quickly started games as each character to find out some of the differences between the two starter characters. Mega Man is very familiar, but lacks his slide move and the ability to charge his shots. Proto Man has both of these abilities restored, and also has his shield, which can deflect some enemy fire, though not all, and while he starts with utilities similar to Rush, the Proto Coil and Proto Jet simply have different visual styles, reflecting an earlier prototype variant common with the storyline of Proto Man himself. Proto Man's biggest weakness is his health. He takes a lot more damage per hit than Mega Man. I didn't realize that at first, and it definitely made my quick playthrough of Mega Man 10 a bit more challenging, but it was certainly still more fun. I can't play a Mega Man game without the slide mechanic anymore, so I welcomed the challenge. All things considered though, this might be one of the easier Mega Man games overall, especially if the player simply sticks with Mega Man as their main character, or if they unlock base. The boss patterns are mostly fairly quick to be recognized, and the levels themselves don't often have many cheap designs. It wasn't the same stress test of new mechanics every few minutes that Mega Man 9 was. It did feel like there were an increase in the number of mid-level bosses in this game, but beyond that, it felt much more manageable than some of the other recent installments in the Mega Man franchise. Each character has a slightly different ending, but why worry about that when we're here to talk about how the story begins? This game was originally a digital release only, so there is no printed manual to flip through. The game features this intro. It looks like Wily is going to be helping you in this game, and it's interesting to see how the story pivots as the game goes on. The game, similar to Mega Man 9, does space out a few cutscenes after you complete a few levels, always leading you down the path to continue the story. I definitely encourage players to complete this one and see where it goes. It's undoubtedly one of the more light-hearted games in the series. Just a matter of weeks ago, Mega Man 11 was announced, projected for late 2018, and we can already tell the graphics are going to see an improvement. But the gameplay looks like it's going to stick with the time-tested Mega Man formula. And you would better believe that I am very excited for the future installment, some 8+ years later. Unfortunately, there's not a lot more to say about it at this time. But if you've played your fair share of Mega Man games and are still looking for something new, there are alternatives. Mighty No. 9 got a pretty bad rap when it first came out due to some problems with its crowdfunding plans, delays, and inability to meet goals. Still, I put all of that aside and finally laid hands on this 2016 title in 2018. Mostly because I picked it up for the Wii U for just $5. Project lead, Keiji Inafune, is widely credited as the man who designed the look of Mega Man, and is responsible for much of what we know and love about the franchise, so people had high hopes for Mighty No. 9 upon its release. The graphics are excellent, but the gameplay feels clunky, almost like they wanted to design a game for speedrunners, but for the life of me, I couldn't get things to click for me. I had a lot of difficulties with this game, despite the fact that I wanted to love it. The music has nothing that stood out as memorable, though it does offer a mode that features chiptune renditions of songs, which appealed to my retro side a little bit more. While I don't necessarily want to focus on the story from Mighty No. 9, it's enough to say that there is a robot uprising and one unafflicted hero that has to reprogram them all. It's almost identical to the plot of Mega Man 10, which came out 6 years earlier, so I found that to be a bit disappointing. For people who just can't get enough, you can always find other clones from Mega Man fanatics who weren't part of the original games. Take, for example, this Android title, Rockbot. Replace the word man with bot, replace the word proto with beta, and boom, you've got yourself a new game. You can check it out for yourself, it's a free game, so why not at least see if you like it. I was surprised at how well it played, even if it does, borrow inspiration from other games. And last but not least, I would be remiss if I didn't tell Mega Man fans about the game 20XDX. It was released on Steam's Early Access platform in 2014, completed last year in 2017, and is still receiving updates and new DLC as recently as last month. The levels have several fixture pieces, but are otherwise randomly generated each time you play, so the game is kind of short, but it does have a lot of variety and replayability. The story isn't all that exciting, but the game has very modern graphics and extremely fast gameplay. It also features a 2-player mode, which allows you to hop online and play with a friend. The 2 players aren't stuck on the same screen together, allowing them to move at their own paces. I played this game with a few friends one night to get the feel for multiplayer, and one of them is a die-hard player with over 100 hours of playtime into 20XDX. Watching someone who really understands the mechanics of the game play it is an absolute treat. I didn't care admitting to the fact that I wasn't as good as he was. This game is less about its story, even though there is a framework there, and more about just challenging yourself. So that wraps up the original series of Mega Man games, and a few similar titles players might think are worth checking out. I want to thank everybody for tuning into these extra long episodes for Mega March. But wait, there's one more Friday in March? Oh, don't worry, I haven't forgotten. I'll still have something for you next week, but you'll have to come back to find out what it is. This is only our story, so far. Hey everybody, thanks for watching episode number 67 of Our Story So Far TV. I really hope you've been enjoying Mega March. I really wanted to cover all 10 of these original Mega Man games. I'm so thrilled to find out Mega Man 11 is coming later this year, hopefully, barring any delays, and I'm really glad I got to give you a couple recommendations that might tide you over until then. If you know a huge Mega Man fan, please share this video with them. I know it's long, maybe not for everybody, but it really helps to share, like, comment, anything you can do to sort of send the signal to YouTube that you're paying attention. Then again, who knows, maybe it's the year 20XX and YouTube is no longer a thing. Well, if you found this video, hopefully you can find more still over at ourstorysofar.tv. That's where I keep an archive of all the episodes in 1080p quality. We've got one more video in store for you for Mega March, so stay tuned to see what it is. Until next time, take care of yourself.